anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Will they both make it? Yes. But it has more to do with the fact of the three teams that are not really good at all in Dallas, Washington, and the Sparks, and an Atlanta Dream team without Ryan Howard that's spiraling out of control. If they can get those two teams, Indiana and Chicago, that's going to be a major boom for ratings.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
It is Canada. You know, Canada is one of those teams that's the darling of the tournament right now. They're still 9-1.
To win a tournament, or even to advance far into a tournament like this, you need a bit of good fortune. And it doesn't matter if you're getting the good fortune that Canada has, where they played 2 matches where they were up a man, or you had the good fortune of Argentina, who's one of the best teams in the world, who just got on the good side of the draw.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I'm Morency, the pitch suppliers, the hustlers, the people to bust them, and everybody else in between. Level 3, the quickest 108 minutes in sports talk and television continues. It's been super fast tonight. There's no dog days of summer here. And it's kind of the calm before the storm. We have the Open Championship, which it's cool. It's cool to bet on. For me, I'm looking more forward to the Olympics. We have a full slate of MLS soccer tomorrow night. I'll have a bunch of picks for that. And we had a big upset tonight in the Summer League is going on right now. 88-76. The Clippers are up on the Bucks. We'll keep our eye on that. Big upset at WNBA. The Chicago Sky have just officially won the game 93-85 as 13.5-point underdogs in Las Vegas against the Aces. Big time win for this team. Game goes over the number. And obviously, they covered a number in the big, massive upset on the money line. The American League wins again. And, man, I outthought myself on this one. I don't know. I was talking about, the American League. Then I was like, I like this National League lineup. It looked good early when Ohtani hit the 3-run home run. Then the wheels fell off. I guess you can say we kind of got lucky by – I did lose an in-game 6.5. And I put a bigger unit on it, too. But I played, a 7.5. And I was like, man, what's the number for 8? And it was 160. I was like, man, they're really trying to scare me off this. But, okay. I said, if it gets to 8, I'm really going to get upset. If, you know what I mean, if I had 7.5. So I did get the 8, but I lose the end game. But 10-1 right now. I mean, come on. 10-1 last 11 years. It's just been dominant, man, with the American League for whatever reason. But the uniforms were just terrible tonight. We showed you pictures. Let's go. We got the best of X here. It's like even worse than imagined. Like, in what world, did anybody think that this was like a good-looking jersey? Jimmy Traina of SI said he's convinced that Major League Baseball makes the jerseys this ugly just to get social media engagement. Like this, growing up, the All-Star game, the cool thing about, the All-Star game growing up, there was no interleague play, so it was a little bit different. But growing up, you would be proud, right? Even if your team wasn't very good, you'd be proud. Hey, look, they had the Expos. There's Gary Carter representing the Expos. And You know, there's Fernando Valenzuela representing the Dodgers, and you represent your team, but you're playing for the National League. And as we just showed, the great team shots, and you know these uniforms, and I don't get it because people don't buy them anyways, and they're hard to find. That's the whole thing. So it's like, oh, they want to make money off them, and what? You're going to order them off a line, and you're going to get it in 6 months? No one's ordering them. You know what I mean? Okay, maybe somebody likes the hat or something like that, but it just seems kind of like a pointless and stupid endeavor. That I don't know why these leagues do this. And it's not just baseball, but you know, we didn't get to we were going to do this last week. I don't think we ever showed it actually. There's like new NFL hats and stuff. It's the companies, man. Like it's hard to screw up baseball hats, but they do. It's hard to screw up a hockey jersey, but they do. It's hard to screw up a baseball jersey, but they do. Right? Like we see it time and time again right now. Like for somehow like they screw up everything. It's just terrible. It's like, all right, you want to make your own jerseys. How about you come up with something that wouldn't be rejected by a beer league softball team, considering you're a Major League Baseball team? Let's roll. Level 3 has begun. The pitch, the players, the hustlers, the people that bust them, and everybody else in between. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. Shout out to all of our AM radio affiliates joining us wherever you may be, including SoCal, the Mightier 1090 in the house. The Major League Baseball All-Star Game is done, and the song remains the same. The more things change, the more they stay the same. The American League wins again, 10-1 in the last 11 years. I don't know why I outthought myself and thought, oh, this will be a National League. And yeah, National League what? Although it did look good, didn't it, when Ohtani hit a 3-run shot early in the baseball game. And it also looked like Ohtani was going to be the slam dunk to win the MVP as well. But the National League didn't win the baseball game. 5-3 final score. Duran from the Boston Red Sox was the unlikely MVP of this baseball game this evening. Although more people are talking about the crap-ass uniforms that the All-Stars. I thought being an All-Star was supposed to be some sort of, like, reward. Like, not a punishment. Yeah, you got to wear this. I got to tell you what, those jerseys were not only, like, terrible-looking, but they're also very unflattering. Vladimir Guerrero looked like the Pillsbury Doughboy, right? Like, there's certain colors that just, it didn't work. Everybody on the National League looked short, right, with the black and black, and, like, it was just a debacle. And even the players, Bryce Harper even said, you know, we should just be wearing our team jerseys. We're not really fans of this. And not that the players matter. My deal is I would totally get it if it was like Major League Baseball said, shut up. We sell a lot of these jerseys, and you guys are making a lot of money through royalties because of these jerseys. Nobody wants to buy these jerseys. If you sent these American League All-Star jerseys, if you sent them to like a third world country, they'd send them back. It'd be like Seinfeld with the muffin tops, all right? Where's the rest of the effing muffin? All right? Where's the rest of the muffin? People don't want this. Like, seriously, if you donated these to a homeless shelter, the homeless shelter would say, you don't have anything better? It's like people that donate like a can of peas to like, in a donation bin. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Thanks for the can of wax beans. Like, the American League, like, what the hell? Like, the National League one was sort of like, it was still bad. So last night, the national anthem was pretty bad. I didn't want to call the girl out because I didn't know. I was like, I don't know who this girl is. And maybe she's, maybe she's got problems, or maybe she won a contest or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she's just a kid and she's sick. Like, I didn't know who she was. So what? Ingrid Andress, a 4-time Grammy nomination. Let me tell you something. What? You can buy Grammy nominations like you can buy popcorn at a movie theater. All right, Grammy nominations don't mean crap in the industry. Oh, people like win media awards. They're bought and paid for. Turns out she was drunk last night. No need to apologize. You're a country music singer. And, I was kind of alone on this on Twitter tonight, but I got to tell you, the Canadian national anthem and the U.S. national anthem tonight, was Kenny Loggins unavailable? Texas decided to go with elevator music theme? That was the worst pregame show. What did you guys have like Cowboys with ropes for? Like, what were you trying to like? We get it. You're in Texas. I was wondering, like, how many people are Texans that were sitting in the stadium thinking, God, this is embarrassing. They brought out a bunch of horses and some, like, chuck wagon. Like, when we have chuck wagon races before the game here, guys. And then the national anthems. You know what the problem is, too? Yeah, last night the girl was terrible, but you know what? It was so bad it was good, and everyone talked about it, and she was drunk, okay? She had an excuse. There's nothing worse than being boring. Whether you're a talk show host, whether you're a musician, I don't care, you're singing a national anthem, there's nothing worse than being boring. Like, who sang the national anthem tonight? I don't know. Some dude. Did it suck? No. Was it memorable? No. The two Canadian girls, I don't know where the hell they found them. They're another country music nominated band. Yeah, whatever. Never heard of them before. And, they sang like they were singing it like in a mall at Christmas time or something like that. Let's not like mess up the words. I thought the All-Star game itself was kind of boring as well for the most part. I don't know. I get it that they move it around and stuff, but it should almost just be like in cool parks, It felt like it was just like the fans seemed bored. There was no real atmosphere. The pregame was stupid. The national anthem sucked. The game was kind of boring. It is what it is. It's the calm before the storm. Countdown to kickoff is on. NFL football in 16 days. Rick Saratella steps up in it next.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Will they both make it? Yes. But it has more to do with the fact of the three teams that are not really good at all in Dallas, Washington, and the Sparks, and an Atlanta Dream Team without Ryan Howard that's spiraling out of control. If they can get those two teams, Indiana and Chicago, that's going to be a major boom for ratings.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
It is Canada. Canada is one of those teams that's the darling of the tournament right now. They're still 9-1.
To win a tournament, or even to advance far into a tournament like this, you need a bit of good fortune. And it doesn't matter if you're getting the good fortune that Canada has, where they played two matches where they were up a man, or you had the good fortune of Argentina, who's one of the best teams in the world, who just got on the good side of the draw.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The Twisted Tuesday continues. This is Sports Rage. I am Gabriel Morency, the Pittsburgh Players, the Hustlers, the Rick Saratellas, and everybody else in between. Countdown to kickoff is on. We're now just 16 days away from the Hall of Fame game. Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears take on C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans. Countdown to kickoff is on. CFL, we're going into week 7. College football rapidly approaching. Right now, Rick Saratella, founder of the NFL Draft Bible, All Access Football.com, a scout with the Edmonton Elks, and more. Rick, always a pleasure, man. Thanks. Glad to be with us.
Yeah, doing great, man. I'm looking forward to that Hall of Fame game. I'll be out there in Canton. Really enjoyed our Hall of Fame debate several weeks ago right here on this broadcast.
Well, I'll tell you what, the preseason is going to be an interesting one this year, isn't it, Rick, with the rule changes in the National Football League, specifically the kickoff rule change in the National Football League. Coaches are going to have to figure out how to attack it and how to defend it. They've been watching a lot of old school XFL tape. Yet I have to wonder, Rick, why, they go with this kickoff, yet the United Football League didn't even go with that kickoff. They could have. They decided not to. To me, it's a mess, this kickoff. What's your take on it?
Well, it was disappointing the UFL didn't keep the new rule that they created and innovated, right? And I joked on a different show that, they wouldn't know innovation if it smacked them in the face. So people would have tuned in to the UFL specifically to see the new rule that the NFL was going to be adapting to. And I think what you're going to see is, players closer. There's not going to be this running distance. I believe they're very short distance. We're still learning the rules. What are they, 5 yards apart, right? And also, if there's a touchback, I believe now teams will start on the 30-yard line. So it's an incentive not to kick it out of the end zone. You want to have a return. You want to keep it with inside the 30. And I think, special teams of yesteryear are going to be completely different because you're not looking for guys that can fly downfield and be gunners. No, there's no more of that. It's really just mano-a-mano, muscle up, and you're going to have to create that second and third weave, right? Because there is no line of defense. There is no second and third level. Everybody's lined up across the board, even with each other. So it's very capable for a runner to break away for a big gain. And I don't think NFL teams really have a lot of experience with it.
No, they don't. And I know coaches are actually losing sleep over this. Yet the innovative coaches, we talked about it at the time, Andy Reid, being the innovator that he is, went out and signed a rugby player. And he said, you know what, with this new kickoff, I need guys that can run in tight spaces, but can explode. Guys can get to the outside as well and beat this. As you stated, everybody's so bunched in. But how many players are really getting injured on kickoffs? Most kickoffs nowadays in the modern NFL anyways, Rick, were just kicked out of bounds. So I guess they could argue, well, there's going to be more action now, and there will be. Let's just call it out for what it is. Weird things are going to happen. Although there wasn't a ton of returns or anything when they had this rule before. Right. But they also didn't have NFL players and some of the speed if someone can get to the outside and pop the corner loose. But it's going to be unique and interesting, something that we've never seen in the NFL before. And some coaches will deal with it well, Rick, and I imagine some coaches will screw it up.
Oh, no doubt about it. And I think Rich McKay, who's on the advisory board committee, said it'll be like a one-year experiment, right? We'll see how it goes. But what happened is the kick return got so stale, right? And like CFL, it's one of the most exciting plays. Like, you better not go to the bathroom on a kick return in the CFL. But the NFL,
and no fair punting in the CFL, no fair catching on a punt either. Big difference, exactly. They encourage returns in the CFL, yeah.
And there's not a lot of injuries, right? And these guys are hitting. And so, the thought process here is like, let's create some more excitement so people aren't walking to the fridge or using the bathroom on a kick return. Let's bring it back to make it must-see TV. And
well, what about punt returns, Rick? Sorry to jump in here, but what about punt returns? You see it. It's to the point now where it's like, dude, what are you even on the team for? Everybody lets it bounce. Nobody wants to get hit. Nobody wants to return it, or they'll fair catch it. And we should note in the CFL, and let's be real, the CFL really has some smart, good football rules, don't they, Rick? In that it's like, all right, listen, no fair catches, so we're always going to have punt returns, but we can't get players killed, so you got to give the guy a 5-yard window. And that's the way it works in the CFL. You got to give the guy a 5-yard window to sort of catch the football, but the guy's not allowed to fair catch the ball either. I think that's a nice medium that the NFL could use, because now when there's a punt in the NFL, bro, nobody returns it anymore.
That's exactly right. And, special teams used to be and should be and still is, in a way, 1/3 of the game.
Yeah, third. Well, that's what I grew up being taught, right? But then they kept Ray Guy out of the Hall of Fame for so long.
Yeah, right. Well, and that's the thing. They're so underappreciated. We talked about it with Devin Hester a couple weeks ago, the kick return. I mean, the greatest kick return of all time is just now getting into the Hall of Fame. These guys are disrespected. Steve Tasker should be in the Hall
Buffalo
of
Bills,
Fame.
yeah.
Are you kidding? This guy was the best at what he did. Nobody in the
You're
history
right.
of the NFL was better than Steve Tasker on special teams as a gunner.
For a
The
long
best.
time, for like a decade, too. Like, he was the Pro Bowler. Right? Oh, and Tasker's on the team because he's that special teams guy.
That's right. Yep.
You know, but like you said, they don't, look at kickers. Same thing. You don't really appreciate them. Everyone hates them when they miss. Right? Everybody hates them when they miss after. So,
Don't I know?
Rick Saratella kicking. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. We'll get to that. We'll get to some kicking talk in a couple of minutes, actually. But normally I don't care much for rankings and listings and polls and whatever, dude. Right? When NBA fans are big on that. NBA media. Well, what if this team played that team? And who's better at this? It's like, shut up. But I am always curious what his coaches, executives, and scouts. And ESPN spoke to coaches, executives, and scouts in the National Football League and asked them to rank the quarterbacks and give them who they think the top 10 quarterbacks are in the National Football League. There's always going to be debate and a little controversy. The biggest takeaway from this story was some of the criticism of Buffalo Bill quarterback Josh Allen. We'll go over the rankings on the other side and hot off the presses.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Will they both make it? Yes. But it has more to do with the fact of the three teams that are not really good at all in Dallas, Washington, and the Sparks, and an Atlanta Dream team without Ryan Howard that's spiraling out of control. If they can get those two teams, Indiana and Chicago, that's going to be a major boom for ratings.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
It is Canada. Canada is one of those teams that's the darling of the tournament right now. They're still 9-1.
To win a tournament, or even to advance far into a tournament like this, you need a bit of good fortune. And it doesn't matter if you're getting the good fortune that Canada has, where they played two matches where they were up a man, or you had the good fortune of Argentina, who's one of the best teams in the world, who just got on the good side of the draw.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. Shout out to all of our AM radio affiliates, wherever you may be joining us this evening. We're throwing it down on the SportsGrid radio and television network, Sirius XM, channel 159. So we were discussing ESPN speaking to executive coaches and scouts and asking them to rank. So it's not ESPN's ranking. It's NFL insiders and executive scouts, etc., and coaches. And not a surprise that Patrick Mahomes obviously is ranked number one. Joe Burrow is ranked second, got the second most votes. Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills is ranked third, and he got a lot of love from a lot of people, Josh Allen, who would love to have him as their quarterback. But one veteran NFL executive said, one of the most overrated players in the National Football League. Immense talent, but he makes a lot of mistakes. He's underdeveloped at winning at the line of scrimmage, tends to lock in on targets, more of a thrower than precision passer, forces throws into traffic. Some of which, okay, some of which is a little bit fair criticism, but we're not critiquing footwork and X's and O's. We're critiquing the overall body of work. And yes, they haven't won a Super Bowl, and I've been critical of Josh Allen in the past as a Bills fan, wanting a little bit more. But at the same point in time, I think it'd be naive to say he's the most overrated player in the National Football League, and I do believe that he is a top 3, top 4 quarterback in the National Football League. We'll get Rick's take in a second. Lamar Jackson is ranked 4th, which might be a little high to some. Matt Stafford ranked 5th, which is interesting. Stafford got a lot of love from everybody. That basically people are amazed, like at his arm strength still and his accuracy. Justin Herbert 7. C.J. Stroud got a lot of love. Justin Herbert was 6. Justin Herbert got a lot of love at 7 as a player only been in the league for 1 year. Aaron Rodgers 8. Jared Goff 9. And they rounded out with Dak Prescott 10. Rick, what do you think about these rankings? Does anything stick out the most to you, good or bad?
Yeah, so there was a lot there to unpack. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is no longer a top 10 quarterback, and I'd love to know the criteria. Are we basing it just off of talent? Like, if it's just talent, okay, I'll give you Joe Burrow too. That's fine, but you can't make the club in the tub. I mean, durability, availability is your best ability, and Joe Burrow hasn't been it, and neither has Aaron Rodgers, quite frankly. So
I agree with you. I would not rank Aaron Rodgers as a top 10 quarterback right now in the NFL.
No, he is not. And, I think what you noticed is, like, Matthew Stafford has got respect because he's proven to win big games, right? And I'll lump Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson there because they're the same draft, I believe. And both of them have failed to win big games. That's the bottom line. And I look back at the history of the NFL.
But as a part of it that Sean McVay also won a big game and Sean McDermott can't win a big game? How much of it is it on coaching as well?
Well, most of it is because of coaching, right? But
and I know you're not the biggest Sean McDermott fan, and I know some Bill fans are like, what are you blaming Josh Allen for? You should be blaming McDermott for the lack of success.
Sean McDermott is a terrible head coach, and he's not a leader of men. And when they fire him,
that's a big one. That's a hot take right there, too. Terrible.
They don't respect him inside the locker room. And I'll tell you what, after they fire him this season, it'll be about 2 or 3 seasons too late. And that's the bottom line. And you can save this videotape, for July 2025. We'll be talking about the new Buffalo Bills head coach, the new culture that they're building. Sean McDermott won't be there, I promise you. And Josh Allen, if you look back at the history of the NFL, I remember John Elway and Dan Reeves bickering, right? And John Elway had no weapons. The three amigos, Mark Jackson, Vance Johnson, this guy was throwing to nobody. Dan Marino didn't have a defense. They carried teams on their back to the Super Bowl. Josh Allen hasn't shown that he can do that. And I'm sorry, like, great quarterbacks find a way. They will a way to victory. They find a way to win, and Josh Allen isn't getting it done. He is
also 27 years old as well. You're not talking about someone that's 35, right? He's only 27 years old.
Well, yeah. Well, how old is Patrick Mahomes?
Well, Patrick Mahomes is an outlier.
Well, I'm just saying he's 1, and they got Josh Allen 3. So they're putting
also
him
have
in
Andy Reid. It was right back to the original point. If Andy Reid was the coach of the Buffalo Bills, I bet you they would win more. So I think the coaching, it kind of speaks for itself right there. Listen, I've been critical of Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen's biggest thing is inconsistency in certain spots. You never really know. He could be amazing. He might not be, which you want.
anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Will they both make it? Yes. But it has more to do with the fact of the three teams that are not really good at all in Dallas, Washington, and the Sparks, and an Atlanta Dream team without Ryan Howard that's spiraling out of control. If they can get those two teams, Indiana and Chicago, that's going to be a major boom for ratings.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
It is Canada. You know, Canada is one of those teams that's the darling of the tournament right now. They're still 9-1.
To win a tournament, or even to advance far into a tournament like this, you need a bit of good fortune. And it doesn't matter if you're getting the good fortune that Canada has, where they played 2 matches where they were up a man, or you had the good fortune of Argentina, who's one of the best teams in the world, who just got on the good side of the draw.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The Twisted Tuesday. This is SportsRage. I am Morency, and I'm just getting punched in the face with hot takes from Rick Saratella right now. I didn't expect this. We started off with Josh Allen. It goes into Sean McDermott's a terrible coach, but okay, fine. Like, as we were just saying, you can't have it both ways, though. But let's move on, because we can argue and debate about this for a couple hours, I think. But sure. You talked about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers ranked 8th, and man, the media loves this guy, don't they? Like, you want to talk about losing big games. Like, just off the top of my head, you lost to Kaepernick, you lost to Eli Manning. Like, how many times did the Packers have home field advantage in the playoffs? How many they blame Matt LaFleur? Oh, he should have went for it. We went for it 3 plays in a row, didn't get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's like, no one blamed Aaron Rodgers that. Even Rodgers, the coach. Bro, you just had 3 cracks at it. We need 2 scores. I didn't agree with the call at the time, but it's like, I understand it. It's like, dude, you just had 3 cracks at it. We're taking the points. We're going to move on now. I didn't like it, but it is what it is. So I'm just saying, Rodgers, one of these guys that the media loves because he's a good quote and he's controversial, but I find it comical that they don't have Jordan Love in the top 10, but they have Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I'll ask you, who would you rather have as your quarterback right now, Jordan Love or Aaron Rodgers? Let's be real. And I tell you what, even close. Every damn team in the NFL would say Jordan Love besides the stupid-ass New York Jets.
It's not even close, Gabe. Jordan Love is a better quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is a better soundbite. Think about this. This man has been in the league at least 20 years. How many of those years did they win the division and were expected to had home field advantage and were expected to do something? This man has 1 Super Bowl ring. Now, hey, kudos to you. But, like, to put him – they talk about him –
him and Brady together and stuff. Oh, the 2 great. I know they played. The 2 greatest quarterbacks. What are you talking about?
Dude, you're not even.
Ben Roethlisberger's had a better career than Aaron Rodgers had.
Yo, you're not even the best quarterback in Green Bay history. Like, give me Bart Starr, give me Brett Favre. Like, you're not even the best quarterback in franchise history. Never mind being an all-time great. Okay. Aaron Rodgers, like, this guy played 3 snaps and he's a top 10 quarterback. And I would take Justin Herbert off that list because, I mean, I just think he's been overrated. He hasn't really won too much. Now, that head coach was a little bit too smart for his own good, and we talked about coaching. I think Justin Herbert's going to take a huge step forward, but until we actually see that, I don't think what do they got him at, 7 or 8? I think that's
6,
a little bit of
right after Stafford at 6.
Yeah.
One thing with Herbert, I'll agree in the sense that Herbert sort of got the never his fault, no matter what. You know what I mean? Oh, it's the defense. The coach was an idiot. Bad coaching decision. Okay, but they went through a couple of coaches, and it was just sort of the same thing all the time. I do like Herbert. I think Harbaugh will get more out of him now. Thing about Herbert is if you look at his numbers, Rick, he's kind of a first-half quarterback. Like, as the game goes on, he gets – and then by the time it's to the fourth quarter, the numbers aren't there. The comebacks aren't there. Like, you know what I mean? I look at, all right, what's your record when we're trailing in the fourth quarter? You know what I'm saying?
They lose,
Stafford's the kingpin of that, bro. Stafford's the kingpin of coming back into 4, scoring late. You know what I'm saying?
And I'll say one last thing about this list that I got to get off my chest, because I don't recall you mentioning Brock Purdy's name. Like, are you kidding?
No, he didn't crack the top 10. He didn't crack that. He was honorable mention.
Yeah, right.
And he was one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL last year. I mean, he was arguably like MVP candidate.
Yo, Brock Purdy's a top 5 quarterback in the National Football League. That's the bottom line.
No, he did. Yeah, I got to be honest. I'm not going to dispute you here. Like, Dak Prescott ahead of Brock Purdy. You know what I mean? Even Jordan Love on the outside. That was the 10. And then there is an honorable mention. Honorable mentions. Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts, Tua, Kirk Cousins, Trevor Lawrence. And then so it goes down the list. Then you got Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. Big drop.
Yeah, I would disagree. If you put Baker on some of these good teams, like, he would be very successful as well. A quarterback, it's like art, Rick. It's subjective. Okay, so listen. Yeah. We've got odds for the number 1 pick in the upcoming draft. And I'm thinking, all right, who's going to be the worst team in the league? Carolina might be improved, but they have a long way to go before they still don't, like, super suck. Carolina, legitimate contenders to be the worst team in the league. Denver are going to be pretty bad, I think, actually. Right? Denver, to me, are 4 or 5. I don't think Denver – I'm not a big Sean Payton guy. I think the modern NFL, I think it's going to implode on him. He blamed Russell Wilson for everything, but okay. You think Bo Nix is better than Russell Wilson? Good luck with that, coach. So, you know what I'm saying? Good luck with that. So the favorite right now, Rick, is Carson Beck, Georgia Bulldog quarterback. Carson Beck is plus 350. Shedeur Sanders, plus 550. No introduction necessary. This player people probably don't know too much about, Rick, but I know you do. James Pierce Jr., defensive lineman, Tennessee Volunteers. James Pierce Jr. is actually got the 3rd lowest odds to be the top pick in the draft, Rick, plus 650. I'm surprised that Connor Weigman is this high. Do you like Connor this much? He's 12-1. I'm surprised about that. Cameron Ward is 14-1. Quinn Ewers is 14-1. Will Campbell 16-1. What do you think about these odds? And is it a possibility that James Pierce is the number 1 player taken? Are you that high on James Pierce coming into this year?
Yes, I very do believe so. Very young, explosive talent on the edge, pass rush presence out of Tennessee, can really get after the quarterback, and that is going to be the best player, non-quarterback.
So if you don't want a quarterback, this is your guy.
I believe so, absolutely. I don't think anybody's even close right now. He is head and shoulders, I think, above any other player. Will Johnson gets a lot of hype, but, Travis Hunter might really be the better cornerback there. Wegman's interesting. I like him out of Texas A&M. I really was impressed. I did some summer scouting on him, and I think he's going to take a huge leap. I think he's a Heisman contender.
Big showcase game. Big showcase game, Rick, on the opening Saturday night of the season against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Maybe it doesn't get bigger than that. Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Saturday night.
Except for Clemson, Georgia is also on that.
The same night. Right? Well, I digress. Let's just remind people, the biggest game of the day is the defending champion Michigan Wolverines hosting Fresno State, baby. And we wish Jeff Bedford the best. I'm just saying. Just said, let me remind you, Michigan is the game of the day. But all kidding aside, we do wish the best for Jeff Tedford, hell of a coach, but health got to come first at this point. So time has just flown by here, Rick. And then, it's a tough spot. You're a scout with the Edmonton Elks. It's been a tough start to the season. Just one painful loss after another, right? Just, different ways. And they either come back and fall short, blow the lead, fall short. Coaching change was made. Chris Jones is out. Jarius Jackson, speaking of Notre Dame Fighting Irish, former Notre Dame Fighting Irish star quarterback, Jarius Jackson is the new interim coach of the Edmonton Elks in the CFL. We got about a minute here, Rick. Ottawa Red Black game on Friday night, rematch.
That's right. Hey, opportunity is born out of adversity. It's our time to rally around Coach Jackson and G. Roy Simon, our new GM in charge. G. Roy's been a CFL lifer. Jarius Jackson's the new voice. So hopefully, as you've seen, Gabe, it's been one or two plays that have killed us every game. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to get those W's on the board. So maybe a new voice, a little bit of tweaks, change of direction under Coach Jackson can help us get going in the right direction. But it's time to rally the troops. We're confident in the team, the coaching staff, the personnel, the players that we have in-house. We don't believe a lot of changes or tweaks need to be made. But, hey, short week, turnaround, we're ready to go.
There's no moral victories, but it really is crazy. It's not like the team has played poorly. It's been in every game. There's been mistakes, but they haven't played poorly. But the results just weren't there, and it's a result-based world that we all live in. Rick Saratella kicking it with us.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Will they both make it? Yes. But it has more to do with the fact of the three teams that are not really good at all in Dallas, Washington, and the Sparks, and an Atlanta Dream Team without Ryan Howard that's spiraling out of control. If they can get those two teams, Indiana and Chicago, that's going to be a major boom for ratings.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
It is Canada. Canada is one of those teams that's the darling of the tournament right now. They're still 9-1.
To win a tournament, or even to advance far into a tournament like this, you need a bit of good fortune. And it doesn't matter if you're getting the good fortune that Canada has, where they played two matches where they were up a man, or you had the good fortune of Argentina, who's one of the best teams in the world, who just got on the good side of the draw.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency, the pit suppliers, the hustlers, the people who bust them, and everybody else in between. Thanks to Rick Saratella for joining us on the program. Countdown to kickoff is on. Rick was fired up tonight. He had some hot takes. Says Sean McDermott will not be the head coach of the Buffalo Bills next year. Julian tuning in right now on our Twitter X stream says he vehemently disagrees with the Sean McDermott bashing. I think Sean McDermott's a really, really good coach. McDermott's like a lot of coaches that, they're in a tough spot in the sense that they win a lot of games, but they're not winning championships. It doesn't mean they're not great coaches. And I vehemently disagree with Rick. And I think it's a short-sighted when you hear people talk often. Well, how come he hasn't won before? Well, how many quarterbacks have won? I mean, Patrick Mahomes has won 3 of the last 5 Super Bowls, right? So Matthew Stafford's been in the league a long time. They've never won before, so it means they're no good. John Elway is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever to play. John Elway won Super Bowls in the last 2 years of his career and said, screw you all, and retired after. Right? Matthew Stafford was on the Lions. The Josh Allen. Remember last year, Joe Burrow was asked, is the window closing, or how long is your window to win a Super Bowl open? And he said, as long as I'm playing. And I do agree with that. Josh Allen is 27 years old. So Josh Allen hasn't won, so he's not a great quarterback yet. Josh Allen's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He hasn't won a Super Bowl, no. Lamar Jackson's also one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Hasn't won a Super Bowl. Justin Herbert hasn't won a Super Bowl. We can go down the list of quarterbacks that hasn't won a Super Bowl, right? So I don't think that's the full barometer. But let's let these players' careers sort of play out. The Bills listen, that division is loaded, man. It really is. If everybody is healthy, with the exception of the New England Patriots, but the New York Jets do have a ton of talent. Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback. We were talking about the scouts and the executives and the coaches and them anonymously naming their top 10 quarterbacks and Aaron Rodgers checking in at 8. This isn't 5 years ago. Right? I mean, even if Aaron Rodgers plays, is Aaron Rodgers going to be the same quarterback? He hasn't been as mobile. I don't think anyone could disagree with what both me and Rick agreed with in stating, who would you rather have right now? We're not talking about past body of work. Who would you rather have right now as your quarterback moving forward? Jordan Love or Aaron Rodgers? I would take Jordan Love. And the coaches and the scouts and executives didn't have Jordan Love in the top 10. But I can't wait to start talking football. It's going to be football 24/7 soon, right? We'll get through the Olympics, and then boom, it's football. But the Hall of Fame game is in 16 days, 15 days, depending on if you're on the East Coast now. It's not next Thursday, but the following Thursday. You know what I mean? It's basically 2 weeks away right now. The Olympics start next week, so there's a lot of stuff going on. Tonight was the All-Star game. And if you didn't catch us off the top, we talked a lot about it. We've been on for 3 hours, but we brought it up off the affiliate hour, the last hour. I thought it was kind of an anticlimactic game, right? And it was just kind of boring. Just call it out for what it is. There was, a lot of players that aren't household names. Good for them that they have good years, but nobody knows who the hell half these players are. And it's even harder to tell who they are in the stupid uniforms that they're wearing. The American League uniform was hideous. The National League one wasn't much better. And even the players, Bryce Harper and many have talked about, well, it'd be cool just to, wear the uniform. What I don't understand is, too, baseball just doesn't get it, that nobody wants to buy these anyways. And even if they were nice, people don't buy them. People don't buy all-star jerseys. How many people buy all-star jerseys? They're extremely, you know what I mean? A couple of people that go to the game, but nobody ever says, and orders them. Oh, I want that all-star jersey. They're relevant, after the game. There's nothing special about them. They're not nice. And truth be told, it takes so damn long when you order a jersey now anyways to get it. I don't understand it. And the thing is, everything is about money. So I don't understand why they don't get that. They would actually make more money if they let all the all-star players wear their home team jerseys. And a lot of the jerseys are super cool. So people would look at them and go, man, you know what? I really like that Mariner jersey. I really like that Pirate jersey. I'm going to get a Skeens jersey. If Skeens is wearing his own jersey tonight, they sell a bunch of Skeens jerseys. People aren't even Pirate fans. They're going to be like, Skeens a cool dude. I'm a fan of his. He's a star. I'm going to get a cool Pirate Skeens. They have cool jerseys. I'm going to get a Skeens jersey. Instead, he's wearing some stupid generic jersey everyone else is. It's a bad idea. It's a stupid idea. We're trying to help you, baseball. You know what I mean? You want to sell. You want to sell jerseys? You'll sell more jerseys by having players wearing their own stuff. Fans will actually end up buying jerseys of teams they're not even fans of if they like the player. and to put a stupid All-Star patch on the jersey and charge an extra $40 for it, and people will still pay for it. But ain't nobody want to buy your dumb. I mean, like, if you gave this to a beer softball league team, they would send them back and say, "Who the hell's idea was this? Who designed this jersey? Who designed this uniform?" As far as the game is concerned, Paul Skeens started the game. He only went one inning. We all knew he was going to go one inning coming in. The sportsbook set the prop. Would he strike out the side at plus 500? He didn't strike out anybody, which was somewhat surprising, right? So Skeens didn't give up a hit, but he did walk Soto. But he didn't give up a hit. He walked Soto, but he didn't strike out anybody, which that was somewhat of a surprise. But it was still electric to see him on the hill against their Judge. Soto promised that it would get to Judge, and he kept his word. He ended up getting on base on a walk. But so Skeens doesn't strike anyone out. We did lose the prop. We took a piece of it at the plus 500. I thought, you know what, he's struck out the side before. I saw him strike out the Dodgers this year, and that was Betts, Ohtani, and Freeman. So I figured, well, he could do it. Thing is, Quan is hard to strike out, and they were making contact. They were making good. Judge, like, drilled one to third base, line, a ground ball to third base. He hit it pretty hard, but they were all just getting, like, these pop fly squibs, and, like, you know what I mean? They weren't making good contact against them, but they were making contact. Shohei Ohtani put on a show. You know what's crazy? That Ohtani's home run was the first time a Dodger has hit a home run since Mike Piazza in 1996. 1996. Last time a Dodger hit a home run in an All-Star game.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Will they both make it? Yes. But it has more to do with the fact of the three teams that are not really good at all in Dallas, Washington, and the Sparks, and an Atlanta Dream Team without Ryan Howard that's spiraling out of control. If they can get those two teams, Indiana and Chicago, that's going to be a major boom for ratings.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
It is Canada. Canada is one of those teams that's the darling of the tournament right now. They're still 9-1.
To win a tournament, or even to advance far into a tournament like this, you need a bit of good fortune. And it doesn't matter if you're getting the good fortune that Canada has, where they played two matches where they were up a man, or you had the good fortune of Argentina, who's one of the best teams in the world, who just got on the good side of the draw.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I'm Morency. We're into the final stretch, and down the stretch they come on the Twisted Tuesday tonight. Thanks to all of our guests, Rick Saratella, Ron Ace, Andrew McKinnis, Cam Stewart was in the house earlier. Major League Baseball All-Star Game. The American League wins again. They're 10-1 the last 11 All-Star games. It's pretty close historically overall, which is surprising when you consider the dominance, but a lot like the Super Bowl was in the 70s and the 80s. it sort of swings and goes back and forth. The National League won like in the 80s all the time for whatever reason. And it doesn't mean anything, like as far as who's better, but like overall, it's now 48-44-2. There's been 2 ties in the history. One interesting note, though, of this game tonight, of course, the last year of the Oakland Athletics, and Oakland Athletic closer Mason Miller got the win tonight, joining Mark Mulder and Vida Blues, the only A's pitcher to win All-Star games. But he also set an All-Star record. All the talk about Paul Skeens, Miller set an All-Star game record by throwing a 103.6 mile an hour pitch tonight. Damn, cranking it up to 103 right now in the modern baseball world. So we say, how come nobody can hit the ball? Everybody, the batting average 240. Well, pitchers are throwing it pretty fast, but that's why, like, they either strike out or if they make contact and the ball's coming in that hot, if you're able to get it in the air, it's just automatically going to be a home run. But pretty cool for Oakland. Their last year, a little bit of irony here in their last year that the pitchers, so they'll be in the history books. I was thinking about it too. The Athletics do have cool uniforms. They've always had badass uniforms. They've always had basically the same uniform, and they're going to keep the same, but it's not going to be Oakland anymore, right? So I was thinking about that. I'm like, man, the jerseys that they made this year, I know a lot of people complained about them, and the names aren't as big on the back and blah, 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 but I don't care. I'm not going to get a name on the back anyways, but I'm going to get an Oakland Athletic jersey just for keepsake. Right? I'm not going to get a Sacramento Athletics. They're going to be called the A's. They're going to keep the same jersey. So, the mayor of Oakland, Oakland basically was making some case that they were like, you know what, we actually could keep the name somehow. But the Athletics has been the name, and they've been in different cities over the years. They've been in Oakland for a while now, but they've been in different cities. They kept the Athletics, so it's going to be the Athletics. But, that cool Oakland across it. It's sad. The Raiders are gone. The Warriors, whatever. The Warriors were in San Francisco before anyways. I don't look at it like, Oakland lost the Warriors too. They did technically, but whatever. It's on the other side of the damn bridge. It's not like they moved to it's on the other side of the bridge and literally right on the pier. And They weren't there originally, right? They were in San Francisco before anyways. So that's a little bit different. The Raiders is different, but now they lose the baseball team. It kind of sucks, but yeah, I'm gonna pick up an Oakland baseball jersey just to have one. I'm sure they'll sell them in the future, but you'll have to pay more. Oh, it's a classic. It's like the Expos. More people buy Expos gear now. They don't exist. It's like musicians when they die. People want their gear after. So I'm thinking ahead here. It's like I'm buying an artist painting, right? Before they pass away. So we began our Olympic preview. For those of you that are hardcore gamblers and Olympic fans, we broke down volleyball earlier in the program tonight. We don't have a lot of time left, but to quickly recap what we went over, my own personal opinion, I put a parlay together and it pays plus 475 as well. It pays extremely well. And this parlay is beach volleyball. So we're going to parlay the women from Brazil, Ana Silva Ramos and Eduarda Santos Lisboa Duda at plus 150. They're plus 150. They're the chalk to win. The other closest team is Hughes and Chang at plus 350. Then you got a plus 500. But from all the research and the guests that we talked to tonight, we're talking about the Brazilian women are going to win the women's beach volleyball, and these Swedish dudes are like kingpins on the men's side. It's hard to believe Norway won beach volleyball last time. I don't know why these Nordic countries are so good at beach volleyball. I guess because they're tall. But David Amen and Jonathan Herliv, parlay together, plus 475. There's a hardcore beach volleyball parlay for you on the way out. Other than that, you're on your own. Later.